So you're thinking of moving to Hilton Head Island, South Carolina, but you just want to know, where are all these neighborhoods actually located? Well, that's exactly what we're going to talk about in today's video. We are going to do an A to Z map tour and show you where every neighborhood on Hilton Head Island is located. So don't go anywhere. We're about to get started right now. Do you want to know everything there is to know about the South Carolina Lowcountry? Whether it's Bluffton, Beaufort, Hilton Head Island, or Jasper County? Then subscribe below and tap that bell for notifications so you'll be the first to know about everything happening here. My name is David Simcox, host of the channel and a local realtor. I get calls and emails every day from people like you and you and you looking to make their move here, and I absolutely love it. So whether you're moving in 3 days, 3 months, or 3 years, give me a call, send me an email, shoot me a text, or book a Zoom call, all in the description below, so I can help you find your low country lifestyle. Now, in today's video, we are going to jump inside my computer and I'm going to show you on the map where all the neighborhoods on Hilton Head Island are located. Now, we are not going to do a super deep dive on each neighborhood. I have made individual videos about a lot of these neighborhoods, and I'll be making videos about the rest of them over the coming year. This is just to give you an idea where they're located and generally how many transactions and what the prices are like. All right, so let's go ahead and get started right now. So we don't have any neighborhoods starting with A, B, C, D, E, but we do have an F. So we are going to start with Forest Beach. And Forest Beach, if we look right here on the map, I'm going to zoom out, and this is Hilton Head Island. And if you're not familiar with Hilton Head Island, it's been a major tourist destination since the 1950s. And it's right here near Savannah, Georgia. And if I zoom out even more, it is also pretty close. It's about an hour and a half, 2 hours away from Charleston, South Carolina. And right here, midway down the East Coast before you get down into Georgia and ultimately down into Florida. But you can kind of see where it's at on the coastline here. And as I zoom in, we're going to go to North Forest Beach. And this was the first area of Hilton Head Island that was developed back in the 1950s. And right here, this little circle is called Coligny area. There's Coligny Plaza, which is some shopping, and Coligny Beach, which is probably the most popular beach on Hilton Head Island. And you've got two areas. So you've got this area up here, which is called North Forest Beach, and you've got this area right down here, which is called South Forest Beach. And these, a lot of these, I would say probably most of these are short-term rentals. So they're houses that people have been using for things like Airbnb and VRBO, or using one of the local management companies. Some people are using them as their main residence, but a lot of people also keep it and just rent it out to generate some cash flow off of that. So let's just jump over here and look at the results on this. Let me go to a different view for you. So it looks like, actually, all right, so it looks like there were 36 total sales in the past year. And the price range on these looks like the least expensive property in Forest Beach was $850,000. And then they very quickly jump up into the $1 million range, 1 to 2 million. There's quite a few in the 2 to 3 million, and then a handful in the $3 million plus range. Looks like the most expensive sale in Forest Beach was $6,250,000. So that is Forest Beach. All right, now we don't have any letter G's, so we're moving on to the letter H. And in the letter H, we have Hilton Head Plantation. And as you can see, we have a lot of transactions in Hilton Head Plantation in the past 365 days. It's represented by all these red dots. And that's partially because Hilton Head Plantation is the second largest neighborhood on all of Hilton Head Island. And it's also, I believe, the second or third oldest one. But the cool thing about Hilton Head Plantation is they don't allow any short-term rentals in here. These are all people that this is either their primary home or it could be their vacation home, but they can't rent it out to other folks on a short-term basis for vacation. So it kind of has a different feel. You definitely feel like you're in a neighborhood that people are living in full time. I have done an entire video on this neighborhood. So if you want to watch that, you can, and you can learn about all the amenities and all the lifestyle. But if I zoom out here, you can kind of get a feel for where this is at. A lot of people will say that Hilton Head Island is in the shape of a shoe, and this is like the heel of the shoe, and this is like the toe of the shoe. So you can see Hilton Head Plantation is up here kind of by what I would consider the ankle. And if I go over here to results, it looks like in the past year, there were 171 properties that sold in Hilton Head Plantation. And there was one in the 350 range, but they're going to go up very quickly from that. So only a couple in the 400s, and then they jump into the 500s, and then also very quickly jump into the 600,000s. And you probably have, I don't know, 20 or so in the 600s, and then they jump into the 700s, and they keep going from there. You've got some in the $800,000 range. We'll go to the next page here and see what they cap out at. But here's some in the 900s, and so you have quite a few, probably 20-something homes in the $900,000 range, several in the $1 million range, $1 to $2 million range. And then it looks like the most expensive homes in the past year were right here in the $2 million range. And one house was $4 million. So that was the most expensive home in Hilton Head Plantation in the past year. So that kind of gives you an idea for what you can pay and how many opportunities you have to buy in a given year in Hilton Head Plantation. All right, now we are on the letter I, and for the letter I, we have this neighborhood called Indigo Plantation. And Indigo Plantation is right here in the center of the island. So again, if you want to think of this as a shoe, it's kind of right smack dab in the middle. And as you can see, you've got Highway 278, which kind of wraps around here, and it's right here in the middle. And again, I'll just zoom out for you guys that maybe just tuned in and not quite sure where Hilton Head Island is at. And then as we zoom back in, we'll take a look at these sales, and I'll show you exactly how many and what the price ranges are. So in Indigo, we have 39 transactions. And 39 transactions, and the price range is, well, we have one at $695. We have a couple in the 700s, but then they very quickly jump into the 800s. So we have a handful of transactions in the 800s. We have a handful of transactions in the 900s, and then it jumps quickly into the $1 million range. And I would say the vast majority of these are going to be in that $1 million range. Looks like they capped out at $1,850,000 was the most expensive transaction in Indigo run. All right, so now we didn't have any in the letter J or the letter K, but we're coming back and now we're in the letter L. And so this is this is actually not its own neighborhood in and of itself. This is part of Palmetto Dunes, but this is called Leamington. And Leamington is kind of a little bit more exclusive part of Palmetto Dunes. And let's just jump over here and see how many we have. You can see right here on the map where Leamington is at. And looks like we have 7 transactions in the past year. And we are ranging anywhere from 1.275 all the way up to 2 million. So the most expensive transaction in Leamington, from what I have here, is $2 million. All right, so now the next letter L neighborhood is Long Cove Club. And this is one of the most beautiful, exclusive private clubs on Hilton Head Island and in the Low Country in general. They have an amazing golf course. They have a great clubhouse. They have dock facilities down on the river here, as you can see right here on the waterway. And it is unbelievable and gorgeous and very high-end and exclusive. So let's just show you exactly where it's at on the island. So if I zoom out, you can see here, and if I zoom in, you can see right here, it's next to Wexford, which we'll talk about later. In the past year, looks like there were 17 transactions in Long Cove Club, and price ranges anywhere from $920,000 was the least expensive, several in the 900s, and then we quickly jump into the $1 million plus range. $1 million to $2 million looks like the vast majority of these transactions. And then it looks like there was one deal here for $3 million. So in the past year, it looks like the most expensive sale was $3 million. All right, so we are moving on to the letter M, and the letter M is Moss Creek. So Moss Creek right here is actually right across the bridge from Hilton Head Island. It's not actually on the island, which you can see here, but it is still a Hilton Head address. So it's over on the mainland side over here by Bluffton. I have made a video specifically about Moss Creek, so if you want to get all the details on that, you can. But it is still considered Hilton Head Island according to the address here. And if I zoom in, lots of great amenities, lots of fun things to do. It is a private club. They do have golf out there, pickleball, tennis, boating, everything and anything you want to do. And quite a few transactions here, as you can see, so a lot of different opportunities to buy. And if I zoom in here, we'll go ahead and look at the results in Moss Creek. Looks like 53 transactions, so 53 opportunities to buy over the past year. So that'll give you an idea of how many come up maybe over the next year. And quite a range in prices here. So that's one thing I really love about Moss Creek, is it almost has something for everybody. So you can see you can get in here. There was one transaction at $365, a small handful in the 400s, a couple in the 500s, quite a few in the 600s and 700s, 800, 900. $1 million to $2 million is probably about 50% of the deals are in the $1 million to $2 million range. And most expensive deal in Moss Creek last year was $2.15 million. So that kind of gives you an idea of the range and the volume of transactions. All right, we don't have any neighborhoods starting with the letter N or O, but we are on to the letter P. And the first one is what's called the Paddocks. And it's a small little area. I'm just gonna zoom out here. So just a small little community right here. And if I zoom out, you'll see on the island where it's at. And not too many transactions over the past year, but looks like we had 5 deals and ranging anywhere from, let's see, $855, $875, $974, and then a couple in the $1 million plus range. All right, so now we're on to the next letter P, and this is Palmetto Dunes. And Palmetto Dunes and another area called Shelter Cove typically are considered one and the same. They kind of go together. And you can see it's right here. They've got some beach frontage all along here, all kinds of great lifestyle items, from golf to beach to, you know, shopping over here right across the street. And quite a few transactions to choose from in there. So let's just jump over here. I'm going to zoom out one more time so you can see it's about mid-island right along the beach here. And looks like we have 44 transactions over the past year, which is quite a few. And looks like there were 2 homes that were available under $1 million. And then quite a few in the $1 million to $2 million range, and then another chunk from the $2 million to $3 million range, and then a few in the $3 million, and then 2 deals in the $4 million range and $5 million range. So also included in this list is some properties in Leamington, which we talked about earlier. is a private kind of exclusive little enclave behind its own gate in Palmetto Dunes. All right, so now we are moving on to our next letter P. There's a lot of P's on Hilton Head Island, by the way. Palmetto Hall, and Palmetto Hall is right out here, kind of by the Hilton Head Airport. And as you can see, right here, quite a few transactions. I'll zoom out just so you can get a better feel for it, and zoom in here. And Palmetto Hall had 27 transactions in the past year. And we've got several in the 600s, but then they jump into the 700,000s, the 800s, the 900s, and then about halfway down they cross over into the $1 million plus range. $1 million all the way up to most expensive sold property in the past year in Palmetto Hall is $1.4 million. All right, now we're on our last letter P. This is Port Royal, and Port Royal is right here on what I would consider the heel of Hilton Head Island. Right here, part of it is along the ocean on this side, and part of it is on the inlet over on this side, but quite a bit of beach frontage here. And let's just zoom in so you can kind of see quite a few transactions, and 36 total. And looks like pricing, $780 was the least expensive, 900, several in the 900s, and then they jump into the $1 million plus range. Looks like the vast majority of all the transactions in Port Royal are between 1 and 2 million, but then down towards the bottom of this list, we do jump into the $2 million range. That goes for maybe 5 or 6 transactions, and then looks like we actually have a couple of outliers here, 2 transactions that were in the $5 million plus range. So definitely they're able to get those prices up into the higher price points in Port Royal. All right, so we are skipping the letter Q and R because there are no neighborhoods starting with those letters, and we are on the letter S, and we're on a neighborhood called Sea Pines, and Sea Pines is the largest community on Hilton Head Island. As you can see, it takes up nearly the entire end of this island, is all one neighborhood. And it was also the first actual neighborhood on Hilton Head Island. So when they developed this back in, I think it was the 1950s, this is what their concept was. It was one of the first places on the East Coast, maybe even in the entire United States, where they combine golf and real estate and kind of a vacation lifestyle into an actual planned community. And so they do allow short-term rentals in most of this neighborhood, and they've got all kinds of incredible amenities like a marina and golf courses and horseback riding and almost anything and everything you could imagine that you want to do within the gates of Sea Pines. They also have shopping and restaurants and so much more in there. Lots and lots of transactions, as you can see here. 186 to be specific. Least expensive, 400,000, just a couple in the 500s. They jump into the 600s, 700s, probably something in almost every price point in here. I'm going to keep going, but 800, 900, jump into the $1 million plus range very quickly. Quite a few in the 1 million plus range, and all the way up into the $2 million range. And then they do down here towards the bottom start jumping into the $3 million range. There is also a handful of properties in the 4 million, 5 million, $6 million range. And most expensive transaction in the past year looks like 9,600,000. So anyway, that's Sea Pines. Lots of opportunities over the course of a year to buy in Sea Pines. All right, we're on to our next letter S, and this is a neighborhood called Shipyard. And Shipyard is, again, almost mid-island, just outside of Sea Pines, just on the other side of Pope Avenue here. And if I zoom in, you can kind of see where Shipyard is at. and quite a few sold properties in the past year. 25 to be specific. And we've got prices in the 400s, 500s, 600s, 700s, 800s, 900, and then they do jump into the $1 million plus range, but not till the very bottom here. So it looks like the vast majority of Shipyard should be under $1 million. Now there are a couple that go over that, and most expensive looks like $2 million was the most expensive sale in the past year. All right, on to our last S. This is Spanish Wells, and Spanish Wells is right here after you come over the bridge, tucked away over on this side of the island. Kind of a really well-kept secret over here, but it is absolutely beautiful, and there are some stunning properties in Spanish Wells. Now, not too many transactions. So again, I'll zoom out one more time so you can get a feel for where the island is and where this is at on the island. And if I zoom in here and look at my results, only 7 opportunities to purchase in this neighborhood in the past year. So probably the following year could be very similar if you want to know. And there was one that was 615, but after that, pretty much everything jumps into the high $1 million range. So 1.6, 1.8, and then 2.4, 3 million, 3.8, and one for 5.3 million. So that gives you an idea where Spanish Wells is and what the price points are. All right, we don't have any neighborhoods with the letter T, U, or V, so we are gonna jump to the letter W, and W, we have Wexford. Wexford is an incredible private, exclusive, gated golf course facility. And also the amazing thing about Wexford is they have their own lock system and their own waterways in here. So this is all on a lock system that opens and closes so that these waterways don't go up and down with the tide. It makes it safer if you want to keep a boat behind your house. And as you can see, some of these properties have boats behind their house, but they also have this marina right here, an amazing luxury amenity center right here. We'll have to talk about that separately on another video, but you can see quite a few opportunities to buy in Wexford, represented by the number of red dots here. And there were 30 transactions over the past year. And these prices will range anywhere from, let's see, one deal closed under $1 million last year, then they quickly jump into the millions, and they very quickly get into the high millions, into the $2 million range, and then down towards the bottom you can see 1, 2, 3 deals closed over $3 million last year. So that'll give you an idea for Wexford, the volume and the prices. All right, and our last W community is Windmill Harbor. And Windmill Harbor is right here. Basically, as soon as you come across the bridge, it's almost on its own little island unto itself, as you can see. And they also have their own marina right here. And it also has a lock system. If I zoom in right here, you can see this lock system, and they have their own interior marina. And you know, for something this small of an island, this is quite a few opportunities to purchase. Let's just zoom out one more time so you can get a feel for where it's at. And let's go over here to the results, and you can see there were 12 transactions in the past year. And these are going to range anywhere from, let's see, 755,000. And then you have a handful of properties that closed under $1 million. And then about halfway down, we get over $1 million and quickly jump up into the high millions. And looks like 2 transactions closed over $2 million last year. So with all that being said, we don't have any neighborhoods starting with X, Y, or Z. I'm just going to go, and here's all of Hilton Head Island. I'm going to zoom out so you can see these are all the transactions that closed on Hilton Head Island in the past year. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I hope you learned something about the location of all these various neighborhoods on Hilton Head Island. And again, if I can help you find your low country lifestyle, be sure and give me a call. You can send me a text, you can send me an email, or you can even book a Zoom call, all in the description below. And if you want to stay up to date with the latest and the greatest happening here in the South Carolina Low Country, be sure and like, subscribe, and tap that bell for notifications so you'll be the first to know every time I drop a new video. My name again is David Simcox. I'm the host of this channel and I'm a local realtor. It's been an absolute pleasure spending time with you today, and I hope to meet you in person at some point, but if not, at least I hope to see you on the next video. Have a wonderful day.